Hi! Back in August, my brother-in-law went to Japan for a few months because he's on exchange for his college program. And while he was there, he would often FaceTime me or video call me, because I'm on Android, from some of the stores in Japan just to see if there was any Godzilla stuff that I might be interested in that he could pick up for me. And some of these phone calls were quite early in the morning, and a few times it woke up my wife, and she was not particularly happy with me. But I'm sitting here now because my brother-in-law's girlfriend recently came back from visiting him and brought me back a whole bag of the things that I asked him to pick up for me. Now, he's been doing this since about August, and it's now almost December. So I don't quite know or quite remember what's in the bag. And my wife recently asked me, like, oh, how many figures did he pick up for you? So I started counting it, and I was like, I think it's like 12. I think it's like 12 figures, maybe 13. And now that this bag is here, I am so sure there are more than 12 or 13 in here. So I thought it'd be fun to unbag it on camera and share this experience with all of you, because it's full of Movie Monster Series Bandai vinyls, which I have a couple of them, like these ones and that one. But it's not a series I'm super interested in because the import cost to get them to Canada is quite high, and you're looking at like 50 Canadian dollars per vinyl, whereas if you were to go buy them in Japan, they're like $32 Canadian vinyl, so it doesn't feel good to pay that much extra for it. But if they're coming straight from Japan, I figured I might as well go nuts, so let's start getting into it. So I'm just gonna dig my hand in and pull out whatever I can find. Gamera Rebirth. I loved this show so much. It was so cool to see Gamera back and just kicking ass. I asked my brother-in-law to try and find the Monster Arts version, and wasn't able to find it. It must be very, very popular over there. Oh god, there's definitely way more than 13 in here. Okay, and so to match, I've got Virus. The gold is really, really nice. These things are also so much smaller than, like, I get the impression when I see the photos online. Not that I'm complaining, like, I don't have that much room. Yeah, that looks awesome. Gold detail is quite nice. Paint on the eyes looks good, too. Very, very happy to have these two guys. Oh god, so many. It's the new Baragon figure. Again, just to give you guys a sense, like, my regular Canadian e-tailer is selling this guy right now for like 45 or 49 Canadian dollars, whereas this guy was on sale for 2640 yen at Ami, which is like 26 Canadian dollars. It's like almost half the price, so that's really the big reason why I don't really get into these things. But I really like Baragon. Like I said in my Mezco video, the Baragon's awesome. Who's this? Batra Larva. Yeah, I always loved Batra as a kid. I thought his larva form was like super cool, because even the larva form could go toe-to-toe with Godzilla, whereas the Mothra larva just kind of exists to get thrown around a lot. Batra Larva is super cool, and I'm happy to have a figure of this guy, and I'm really excited for the Super 7 Ultimate whenever it happens. So there's Baggin. I cannot believe that we got a Baggin figure, and I can't believe like how quickly after it was announced. Like, it wasn't, as far as I know, it wasn't a fan vote or anything like that. They were just like, oh yeah, hell, we're gonna make Baggin, and we're gonna make him a Godzilla store exclusive. Yeah, this guy looks awesome. I can't wait to fiddle with him a little bit more in detail and see all the paint applications. I saw Shin Robjiro's video. He looks awesome. Adult Mothra. This is the 2018 version, and I know that because it has the red dots painted on the wings. I remember when my brother-in-law videotaped me, and this one was sitting next to the new release on the shelf, and I was just like, no man, you get the one with the red dots, He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, not a whole lot to her. Details look really cool, and I actually don't own, other than the Mezco 5 points, I don't actually own a Mothra adult. Cool. Alright, so that's already 6, and I'm like barely getting into this bag. Ah, yes! And to go with Mothra, I also asked him to pick me up the Batra. So now I have both forms of Batra. You know, I only recently understood that Batra's roar in the movies was just like a different pitch of the Rodan roar. It's not that it's difficult to decipher, I just never paid attention to it, and now I'm just kind of disappointed because I really like Batra. Anyway. Yeah, so I have this Gauss figure. I don't know which one he is. I don't know which year he came out from, but he was up on the shelf for 1,540 yen. And I don't have a Gauss figure, and this guy looked pretty cool. I'm quite happy to have a Gauss figure that looks like this. There's Gauss. So there's Space Godzilla. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. I don't think he's like one of the more popular vinyls. I don't think people care too much about this version, and YMSF is about to do like a really detailed, cool looking version. I really wanted this guy to go alongside the Mogera. I know there's a Mogera in the bag. Don't know when I'm gonna pull him. But I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna have Mogera on the shelf, I want to have a Space Godzilla next to him. Mine is Goji, the metallic version from the Godzilla store. Yeah, that looks awesome. That's a really cool deco. I was really hoping he would be able to find the clear blue version, the theater exclusive, but I think it sold out at the Godzilla store because they had a few units of it. It sold out within like 40 minutes before he was gonna get there, which kind of sucked. But this guy looks really cool, and I have tickets to see the movie this Friday, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Right now, I'm at 10 figures, and there's still more in the bag, so we'll see. And there's Mogera. He's pretty scuffed up. This was from a store that sells these secondhand, but like, I don't really mind. I think he was like 10 bucks, maybe even less than that. And it's kind of cool. It's like, you know, someone else got to enjoy the figure, and he's all scuffed up now. He's all marked up. So now I get to put him next to, Space Godzilla, which the scale's actually pretty good. Mogera's awesome, and I'm really looking forward to getting the ultimate, because the colors really pop on those renders, and I hope that the final product is able to match them. Hedorah! Yeah, so outside of the Mezco, again, I don't actually have a Hedorah figure, so the Monster Arts is like way too expensive for my blood, but I'm really happy to have an adult version of Hedorah on my shelf. It's quite lengthy too. I always forget that Hedorah has like a really long tail. So that we've hit the 12 figure mark. What else is in here? Oh, this Titanosaurus I am so excited about. I'm so happy to finally have a Titanosaurus in my collection. This guy doesn't get nearly as much love as I think he should, and his figures are so expensive on eBay. So I'm quite happy to have him. I've got a Mechagodzilla kicking around too, so I'm excited to put them together. Hunching? Teenage? I don't remember actually what the official name for this guy is, but he's like his juvenile Hedorah form. Not much to say about it. I think he looks cool. I don't know, and I also think that like this, the reason I like this version, he looks a little bit more dynamic than the adult version. I don't know if it's just like the little hunching that he's doing, but I'm happy to have that version. Orga! My brother-in-law found Orga at one of those secondhand shops for, I think it was like 2,000 yen, something like that. And Orga is another monster who just doesn't get enough love. So when he showed me it, I jumped on it. I am super pumped for this version, and hopefully whenever Super 7 gets around to making their ultimate version. Legion! I didn't realize how big Legion was. Oh Jesus, I don't know where I'm gonna put this guy, but you gotta have Legion. The Heisei Gamera movies are some of the best kaiju movies out there, and so having a Legion figure to represent on my shelf, I am super stoked for. And I have a Gamera 2 vinyl that my dad gifted me, actually earlier this year, so I'm happy to have a Legion to pose next to him. So my brother-in-law's first purchase from the Godzilla store got him a pair of Baragon chopsticks, which is really cool. It's really cute. And so I think that's it, except for one last thing. I asked him to pick me up this Kyu hat because I need a nice hat. I don't have a lot of nice hats, mostly because I lose them, but I would make sure not to lose this one. But the concern is that my head is really big. My head is very big. And I asked him to make sure if there were different sizes to pick up the largest size possible, see if it fits, and I don't know if it's gonna fit, so we're gonna give it a shot. Alright, moment of truth. It fits! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have this hat. You guys have no idea. Oh, I think there's like cheap versions of this on eBay, and I almost bought one for like 20 bucks, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna be good quality. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like the patch, the textured patch. It's gonna be like some kind of iron-on. This fits. It was expensive. I think this hat was like 40 bucks Canadian, and that was more than any of the figures on the table. Well, you know, except for this guy. And so I was super nervous that this wasn't going to fit my head, but it does. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 figures, a hat, and some chopsticks. Huge thank you to Harshi and his girlfriend Ella for getting these things to me. He's got me an original Mechanicon vinyl figure. He's got me Iris figure from Gamera 3. And I think that's it. Oh, I asked him to pick me up the 1955 Godzilla and Anguirus and the spoiler figure from -1, which again, I'm not going to talk about here. I'm really excited to have all these figures to really just, you know, enjoy taking a closer look at the details and paint and fiddling with and finding space in my office to display them, because I really didn't think that far ahead. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.